And I wasn't like slaying it in the beginning at all. And it wasn't like off the bat, hit the ground running. Even if it was a good one that might do well today, back then I didn't have a lot of reach and it was just kind of the testing phase and I was just doing it.
Right.
About like a month and a half in or 2 months in on TikTok, which is, you can figure out how many videos that is. It was just a lot. And sometimes it was twice a day. And I was experimenting, seeing what worked, throw out a musical thing and seeing what kind of feedback I get, throw out a looping thing, a production video, beats. I would be making beats because I was doing, like I said earlier, at the beginning of the podcast, making little bits of music a day. So I was trying to kill two birds with one stone. While I would record, throw up a GoPro and show that I'm recording, screen capture, editing all that together, And then I'm like sitting in my car in February and Gary V pops up on my feed and I was like, oh, maybe I could do an impression of him. Let me try that. So I throw my phone up in the car. Can I curse on this podcast? Does that work?
Go for it, bro.
Okay. So,
yeah.
I just throw up my phone in my car. Let's try this one. I was like, I'm just so sick of fucking 20, 40-year-olds complaining that they're not killing it, okay? Like, if you want to win, fucking move to Louisiana and start a fucking peanut butter brand. Right? Like, fucking peanut butter. Okay? Throw that video up on my phone and I'm watching it and my hand is like this. I was like, should I post this or just nix it? I could do it better. I could probably get it better at some point. It was just the first attempt I had done at it. Click, and I'm like, my thumb is literally like vacillating back and forth, like alternating post or X. So I posted it. I posted that one. And an hour goes by, something like that. It was like 4 p.m. on a random day, afternoon in LA. And I pick up my phone and I see 10,000 views. And I'm like, what the hell? What is going on? And I'm like home and I'm like now in my phone like this. Like all of a sudden I'm like, what is going on? I do a refresh, 12,000 views. I do another just refresh in real time, like every 30 seconds, 15,000 views. Another refresh, 22,000 views. Comments. I'm like, are these real people? What is happening? Until that point, the most things I had gotten, a couple of little spikes, maybe a couple thousand at some point, but like from a video I thought was really funny, but it was like, one-offs. And this one is just like surging. Never happened to me before. I'm never in this zone. And I'm like, heart's kind of like dropping a little, like, what is happening here? This is crazy. It's like, it is a rush in that moment. And then
wow.
Comments start pouring in, mentions and shares and reactions to this whole thing. And I was like, wow, that was something. So that was by the next morning, it was at like 125,000 views. And I was like, that was cool. Wow, neat. And then Barstool Sports reached out to me on TikTok in the messages and said, hey, we'd like to feature this on our Instagram. I didn't even really know Barstool Sports. I wasn't following them, but I checked out a lot, but it's like a household name. I'm not like a sports guy. So a lot of people,
I don't know either.
Yeah, like a big account. They do a lot of funny meme style videos and stuff,
Yeah.
but they're also, Dave Portnoy is like a character. He does a Barstool Pizza reviews. I don't know if you follow. He's a guy like from Boston. Does like pizza reviews. But anyway, I check out the Instagram. They're like, we'd like to feature this on our Instagram. Please send the original whatever footage to this and this account. Upload it to here. So I did. And then I go check out the account. It's got 7 million followers. And they feature it that Monday. Like this was on a Thursday. So that Monday they featured it on their Instagram. This guy is literally Gary V, sound on. And then my Instagram account had like 312 people following what I was up to and doing on my like Ami Kozak official Instagram account. And like that was less than my personal private account, which was like 500 friends of cousins, friends, and family. So like I was just like, all right, like, just slowly but surely building it up. And that day it jumped to like 2,000 people from the Barstool Sports feature. And now it's at, almost 5,000. We're like, getting to 5K followers, which to me is just like a significant audience. So it seems like, overnight I just got this audience. But really, like I realized, wow, I've been posting on TikTok every single day. Now, could that have happened if I just never had posted before and just posted that video? Maybe, but something tells me, having been on the app as a frequent user of TikTok over a month and a half straight, showing that I'm committed as a creator, doing it consistently, something kind of clicked and worked. And when it did, what I was fortunate about is that when people then saw me in this sort of like, quote, viral moment, when they went to my profile, I had a month and a half's worth of videos of impressions. And all those videos that I said were at like a couple of hundred, whatever, just started swelling up in views and engagement. Almost like all these ones that I thought were
evergreen, right?
Yeah, everything that I thought was like so, like a Gilbert Gottfried video or Sebastian Maniscalco, little impressions, little things. Some beats were like, whoa, this is fire, bro, like little things. I thought, okay, that's all they're worth. They're worth, 50 views. And then I realized, oh my gosh, once they have this attention and I was able to garner that from this other video, imagine if I had like not done anything and then just did that. Then they came and it was an empty profile. Like, I don't think I would have retained much.
Right.
So why do you want to go viral?
One-hit wonders or something.
Yeah, why do you want to go viral? I wouldn't have wanted to go. You don't want to go viral only to have everybody come and then leave. And then what I've seen happen in some cases is where people get a little worried and scared, like, oh my God, how am I going to match this one? And then they kind of stop and halt. So my instinct right away was to fight against that impulse to be like overthinking it and just plow through and start making more and more and more and more and more. And then, the Gary Vee stuff has sort of become its own little character and funny thing, which I'm kind of known for in the TikTok platform. But we're now coming up on, I don't know, over 60,000 followers on TikTok, which is really nice. And it's translated over. Started doing other impressions too. Jordan Peterson I threw in to the mix. That was a random one on TikTok. I started, do you follow Jordan Peterson at all? Do you?
Yeah. So, sure.
So I started putting that. Ooh, it's clipping. The mic is clipping. I started putting that one on TikTok. Then I threw one of those to YouTube. My YouTube channel, which had random looping videos and a couple of things, had like 30 subscribers from one Jordan Peterson video from TikTok. It's now at like 11,000. And I'm not dropping these numbers in any way to kind of flex. It's more just to demonstrate that I think it's trying to find a way to make good stuff every single day. It's even Gary Vee himself, I'll quote him, has said, it's not quantity over quality. It's that quantity leads to quality. Everyone's like, do you just put out and not care? It's like, no, you should try to care. Do the best, put your best foot forward on these platforms. Do what you can do. But over time, your quality gets better, but only through quantity. You have to keep at it, just like practicing any craft. The craft of posting videos, making videos, posting them, sharing them, engaging with these platforms is a craft in and of itself. Then it starts to get fun when the resistance of doing it, because it's so hard at first, gets easier. It actually gets fun. And then you have this audience to cater to, and that's a cool, special thing.
Yeah, it's interesting what you just said, because it's really like, I feel like people that do what we do are such perfectionists. I know I am. And so much of success is just letting go of perfectionism, putting things out, and just moving on to the next project, moving on to the next thing, and just keep doing it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I'm definitely just not, I don't think I am a perfectionist anymore as much as I, and that one thing that certainly proved it to me was that I didn't think the Gary Vee impression was even perfect, and I threw it up anyway. Like,
there's something magical about that imitation.
And it's gotten better. Like, I look back at older videos of it, and I see where I fix certain things, and here, like, I started rounding out the R just a little more nasal, and like with time, like, I got even better, and that's okay. It's just like, it's like saying like never play a gig until you're the perfect, as good a guitar player as. It's like, no, you should be playing gigs all the way through. When you're first starting out, like, play, and like everything improves at the same time. Don't, like, obviously you want to make sure you're at a certain level. You don't want to get up on a stage and have no idea what you're doing, but you can't wait until you're at the end of your musical journey to finally play a show. It's like that whole thing of everything, rising tide will like lift together and improve. You look back at old videos or old productions or old anything, and you could cringe a little bit, but you had to do that. Otherwise, you won't get better.
Yeah, I love it. Do you think any of your success on TikTok had to do with the fact that it was a newer platform? Maybe the reach was a bit more organic than, say, something like Instagram or Facebook, which was a bit, more older and, embedded in their algorithms.
Yes, I do think so. I think everybody acknowledges that. I think the macro understanding of social media in general is that the newer platforms always have better organic reach, and then if it starts to take off, more corporate and advertising and paid stuff starts to happen. Like, it's just been the trend with Facebook. It used to have tons of organic reach. My understanding is now it's almost impossible to get anything unless you're paying for advertising, which the bigger companies are doing. So it has I think Facebook has a lot of power. This is my limited understanding of it. It's just what I've heard. I don't follow tech that closely, but apparently on Facebook, there's a lot of great advertising tools that are all paid tools to be using. And a lot of companies and marketing companies and whatever that employ those things see a lot of success. But for the like organic creator, it's much harder. From my understanding, LinkedIn, TikTok, and maybe some others are still very good with organic reach. But having said that, it doesn't really matter because the principles still apply. Like you're going up against whatever platforms you're going up against and whatever environment you're in, the principle, it means you, if anything, you have to work that much harder, to put out good stuff consistently and, just keep at that grind. And I think also understanding the platforms a little better. So I've found that YouTube, for example, I think YouTube is not a social media platform. It's a search engine. People are going to YouTube and they are actively searching for things. So how your videos rank, how they rank in searchability, if they strike at particular times, like that stuff benefits YouTube because people are going to YouTube and have to actively type something in or click something. There's no feed being put in front of them. And there are comment sections, of course, but it's not as social as, say, TikTok. Or as a Instagram. Instagram is also more images than video, but also video, obviously. But different ones have different things. And I think TikTok is less social media and more video and more creative. It's more just a creative place, like a little playground where you'll find different kinds of things. It's loose in how people experiment with types of videos they do. The production quality is sometimes all over the map, but TikTok wants you on the app creating cool things as opposed to socializing social media wise. It's more on the creator side that I say social media. Like the DMing, direct messaging on TikTok is limited. You have to be following someone already to talk to them. And they want things to be shared and stuff, but it's not like you're not copying links and doing promo kinds of things. Like there's no reason on TikTok anyone would ever throw up a status update, like duck face, like, hey, at the beach, here's my sandwich. Like you wouldn't do that on TikTok. It forces you, the nature of the app forces you to try to make something cool or worth posting. At least that's what they're aiming for.
So would you say TikTok is the place to go in 2021 if you're, a music producer trying to show what you do in the studio, what kind of music you're making?
From what I see on it, totally, because you can share sounds. I think the Billboard, top, 50 tracks of 2020, I don't know what the number is, but majority of tracks that are hits today, if you're trying to get out there and, have commercial success, it all starts from TikTok. For organic reach for musicians, I think actually it's still pretty unexplored for how musicians should use TikTok. But yeah, getting your sounds out there and shared in other people's videos to get exposure to your music. Yeah, I would definitely do that. I think for those little beats that I've created, I told you about at the beginning, I'm going to start to try to introduce them to cater to TikTok. One of the strategies I have for 2021 is to, set up a DistroKid account and start putting little bits of beats of music into TikTok, into that engine, and see how they work and maybe get used for people's videos just for the production side of things.
That's really cool.
Because there is a formula how videos get made. It's you could see it, like the music generally has a big drop for a build up for anticipation, then a drop, and then some kind of thing. And oftentimes I've been following a lot of producers who are making tracks for it, and they all follow a certain formula, which is, very conducive for videos that I've seen on TikTok. There's like each platform has its own culture in a way. TikTok's got a lot of these private jokes and private things. That's why I love it. It's really much more of a creative playground for all types of creative people. And there's cool information. There's just really neat stuff there, as opposed to just status updates of random, like vlogging, Truman Show style, like what's going on with, to me, there's something very cool about the way TikTok has fostered a creative community.
Yeah. How do you not spend all day in there? How do you know, how much time do you have to spend on one video, let's say?
Yeah, it's hard not to spend all day in there. It's a dangerous thing. You have to be careful. But I will say this, TikTok has been probably the one social media platform where I don't feel completely drained and like I wasted so much time when I'm on it, because there's so much enriching stuff on there that if I've been deep diving for a while, I come back and I'm like, man, that was fun and cool, as opposed to why am I scrolling on Facebook? It's so toxic, garbage nonsense. To me, I find those to really put me in a worse mood. Why did I do that? That's annoying. I got to get off this. TikTok is less so because it's more creatively enriching. But like I said, with time and practice and repeatedly doing something, you can do it fairly quickly. What used to probably take me an hour and a half to get it right can do in 30 minutes now. I'll try, like I said earlier, I do want to compartmentalize my day more so that I can maybe just say between this hour and this hour, I'm doing content creation. For 15 minutes after that, I'm doing the posting. Then I'm done, you know, and then maybe I'll do a few videos at a time and like throughout the week so I don't have to, you know, be consumed with it all day long.